Yo, 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 yo. What it is? The like button. The like button. Oh, Jaru, wild as is a motherfucker, man. You heard me. That man made this big old fuss to what that girl name is Tasha K about how he was gonna sue her for putting out misinformation. Only the thing come back, it'd be like, oh yeah, you know it did happen. What it is, what it do, man? Yo, he did all that just to come back and say, yeah, you really jumped on me when I was leaving out. I think the part he probably was upset was, and I'm gonna play what he had to say, is when she tried to make it sound like it was worse than what it was, like he was critical or something. You feel me? I think that's where the issue lied, but I don't know if you can see because of that. 16 shot him, man. And let me say this too, man. Hold up, before we do any of that, yo, cause let me address 16 shot him, man. Yo, I don't like this excuse that blogs use. A lot of these blogs that do police shit, all their excuse is, I'm saying, well, you uploaded it on the internet or you said it in the song. Yeah, but that ain't got shit to do with you, bro. Every blog don't get called police. You feel me? What's up, Edward? Every blog don't get called police, man. If you're being called a police, if you oh, Ray J came back to DC. Let's see what happened with Ray J in DC, man.
Don't just get you. Yeah, tell them Ray Pussy
All right, DC let Ray J back in. That's crazy. He probably gave somebody some money. But yeah, 16 shot.
Alright, so look.
Obviously, people have been calling 16 shot him a police for a while, man. Cause it's like he upload one of these videos at least once every month. Once a month. So for 16 shot him to keep addressing this, obviously you know you're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? I didn't watch him do about 4 or 5 of these videos talking about blogs being the police and people calling in the police. So obviously you know you're doing something wrong, bro. You must be doing police shit over there. You feel me? Must be doing police shit over there, man. But check them out.
I'm actually glad you said this, gang. And look, I'll be the police. I'll be the goofy ass blogger. I'll be the nigga that ain't never did shit. That nigga don't go outside. All this shit, right? I'll be that. I'm own up. We the police. Us bloggers, we the police. But one thing I know is for the police to solve cases, what do you need? You need witnesses. You need snitches. If we ain't around for none of this shit, we ain't seen none of this shit because we ain't never been outside. How do we get this information? From the niggas that's outside, right? The real street niggas, right? Y'all the biggest snitches on my dead homie, for that's why this shit don't mean nothing to me, gang, on phone them, because how the fuck do niggas know anything on phone them? Like, for it to be a snitch, you gotta be the police. For it to be the police, you gotta have a snitch. You see what I'm saying? Like, on gang, you can't have one without the other, gang. So we could be the police. Y'all snitches. What's worse? We doing our job on phone them. What y'all doing? Y'all street niggas, y'all ain't doing y'all job. All right, so look, I'm actually going.
I don't know when that became the job of the blogger. Like, I don't think bloggers are supposed to piece together evidence. Like, I don't think bloggers are supposed to comb through lyrics and point out crimes. That's police work, yo. Y'all not doing your job, yo. Everybody don't do that. Like it's only a few blogs that get called out for being the police. Everybody ain't on police time, yo. I ain't never been called no police. It's a lot of blogs that ain't never been called no police. You feel me? So if you're being called the police, bro, you're doing something wrong. And this is another lie too. Well, it's not a lie, but this is another thing. What's up, 2800? It's not always street guys that inbox you information. You understand what I'm saying? It might be it might be civilians that inbox you information that they know, that they heard from the streets. It ain't public. They just heard it from the streets. But it's up to you if you want to report that or not. I don't report that shit. Like, I done had people inbox me wild things, y'all. It never makes the internet. You feel me? I done had people inbox me shit about, fuck the boy name is, Lil Marlowe, Quando Rondo, shit. Hella shit that's going on in Baltimore. You feel me? Like, yo, I don't report that shit, man. Because that's not my job, yo. I told y'all about the girl with the Quando Rondo shit. She hit me. I said, man, that sound like a police matter. You feel why are you telling me that? Like, it sounds like to me you need to get the police involved, man. Like, it is, you don't contact me and I'm gonna bring this shit to the world. Nah. But the problem is with these blogs is they want to go viral. They want to go viral. Somebody actually left a good comment up there. What the fuck do you say? Where the fuck did you do that? Look, Shorty say, who do snitches tell? The police. So yeah, y'all the police. Just accept it. Y'all both help the police do their job. What they do is they get a get out jail free card, and y'all do it for clout and money. Street shit not supposed to be on the supposed to stay on the streets. Once y'all put it on the internet, breaking the law period, don't try to make it sound good. Y'all snitching, but in different ways. Realist comment on that bitch. Like, yo, that's the same thing the culture vultures do. Like, yo, that is a culture vulture response, 16 shot. That if we didn't see his face and we changed his voice to Vlad's, then we'd have thought, I mean, it's like some shit Vlad would say or Adam 22 would say. When they get niggas on their platforms and they get them to talk about crimes, they say, well, it's already, they rapped about it. Like, yo, all right, yo. If they rapping about it, let the police depict it. It ain't your job to depict it. It ain't your job to try to dig further. It ain't none of that, man. It's all police shit. But I just wanted to address that for real because that's a culture vulture response, bro. That's what all the culture vultures say. It's culture vulture response. Let's tell them again.
Glad you said this, gang. And look, I'll be the police. I'll be the goofy ass blogger. I'll be the nigga that ain't never did shit. That nigga don't go outside. All this shit, right? I'll be that. I'm own up. We the police. Us bloggers, we the police. But one thing I know is for the police to solve cases, what do you need? You need witnesses. You need snitches. If we ain't around for none of this shit, we ain't seen none of this shit because we ain't never been outside. How do we get this information? From the niggas that's outside, right? The real street niggas, right? Y'all the biggest snitches on my dead homie, for that's why this shit don't mean nothing to me, gang. On them, because how the fuck do niggas know anything on phone them? Like, for it to be a snitch,
so basically saying, so basically saying, shit, if you snitching, I'm a snitch too. Like, what makes it any better, bro? It don't make it no difference. If you saying the rappers or the street guys are telling, right? But if you so-called against telling, why would you get on this bitch and tell too? It don't make sense, yo. This is a bullshit response. It's a bullshit response, 16. Yo, but Candace Owens say her life is in jeopardy, man. Have y'all seen that? Candace Owens say her life is in jeopardy. There's been a bounty placed on her. I knew her life was in jeopardy. Yo, she doing too much talking. She doing way too much talking. There's no such thing as free speech in America, y'all. Don't let nobody tell you that. So here go the post. Like, damn, that shit got blurry as a bitch. Y'all see this? It say 2 days ago. Hold on. Yeah, she must have upset when she wrote this. She said contracted. I think she meant contacted. 2 days ago, I was contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and their proximity to the French couple, I have deemed the information they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something happens. In short, this person claims the Macrons, y'all know she beefing with the French prime minister or president, whatever the fuck he is over there in France, over the fact that she said that his wife is a man, have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Yes, you read that correctly. It's more specifically that the green light was given to a small team and national intervention group. I'm told there's one Israeli that is on this assassination squad, and the plans were formalized. Again, this person provided concrete proof that they are well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, this person claims that Charlie Kirk assassin trained with the government Legion, with the French Legion 13th Brigade, with multi-state involvement. Journalist Xavier Poussard's life is also at risk. This is deadly serious. The head of the state of France apparently wants us both dead and has authorized professional unions to carry this out. I ask that every person retweet and share this. I do not know who in the American government can be trusted, since this source claims our leaders are aware. But I have more specific information, which is definitely verifiable, should they care to reach out to me. To the brave officials in France who did this because they were so moved by the evils of Charlie public execution to risk their own life, may God bless you truly. Yo. That shit crazy. I knew she was playing a dangerous game though, but that's the thing, yo. I think she's aware of that, and that's the only thing I be asking. It ain't too many people willing to sacrifice anything for truth, and I think that's part of the issue we got with black culture and just the black community in general. Yo, people are scared to lose $1. Yeah, man. People are scared to use $1 to stick to the truth. Because the truth isn't monetized for the most part. They don't want truth on these platforms. They want lies. You know, they want to run plays. You understand what I'm saying? So when you deal in the truth, you got to understand, yo, you're going to have to sacrifice some things, man. You might sacrifice some money. You might sacrifice your views. Shit. On more extreme circumstances, you might sacrifice your fucking life. But it just depends on how far you willing to go with the truth, yo, and how much you willing to stand on it. Candace Owens is standing on the truth, yo, and I respect it. You feel me? I don't see nothing wrong with her investigating the death of Charlie Kirk. You know, she said that was her friend. You know, I disagree with Charlie Kirk on probably every point he ever made about black people. But at the end of the day, somebody's being lied. Yeah, man, we're being lied to, yo. The shit don't make sense. Yeah, man, it don't make sense. And she trying to get to the bottom of it, and I support her trying to get to the bottom of it. Whatever the bottom look like. You feel me? But it's consequences to that. You know, it's consequences to trying to find the truth. That's just what it is. Now I think if they was to really do something to Candace Owens, I think it'd be I think a lot of people would be upset about that shit. I don't know how people will respond to that. Because the difference between Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens is, on the conservative side, Candace Owens is just as big as Charlie Kirk. But the difference between Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens is Candace Owens got black people that support it too. And you know America don't like fucking with black people, man. Yeah, that's just what it is. History says that. America does not want black people riled up because America knows what can happen behind that. So I don't know if that's going to save her, but it is the thing. You feel me? That's why they make sure a lot of our public figures are controlled. Because they don't want a person like me speaking and having millions of people following because they don't tell them what the fuck I'm gonna say. You feel me? And I ain't one of the ones that can be manipulated and controlled by money like some people. They gotta have people at the top that they can control with money. You feel me? That's why we got the Charleston Whites and all the rest of them fuck boys and the Al Sharptons and shit like that because we can control them. I mean, we can prop them up, pay them, make them seem like they are a strong voice in the community, but in reality, they working for us. They work for us, and they know what to say versus what not to say. And I think that's part of the reason why. What's up, Money Mitch? I think that's part of the reason why they giving us all these rapper podcasts. If y'all noticed, in the last 2 years, we done got 35 rappers and started podcasts, because they know the average rapper can be controlled because they have been controlled. You feel me? So they know where we can put them on platforms. We can get them to speak about everything these blogs speaking about that's independent, but they are controlled and they know what to say versus what not to say. And they know if they do say certain things, there's going to be consequences for it. And all we got to do is give them a bag and threaten to take a bag away. Them motherfuckers going to change their tune. I don't even listen to a lot of these rappers no more. What's up, Travis? What's up, son? Why you asking I used to sell drugs, man? Then we got the David kid. Have y'all been saying what's going on with that shit? I think his ass ready to go to jail. I ain't gonna lie, he out here fuck. Yo, that little girl was decapitated, man. She was decapitated. What's up, Dexter? And her limbs was cut off. Like, what the fuck type of shit they got going on? Look at this. Hold on. That girl was decapitated, man. That shit is crazy. Look at this shit.
Actually have elevated their game, and
Welcome to the Two Angry Men podcast. Mark, the singer David is in big trouble. We now know, and I can give you this 100%. Although the medical examiner has not yet determined cause of death, nor has the toxicology report been given over to the LAPD, the LAPD robbery homicide unit is viewing the death of Celeste Rivas as a homicide, and David is a suspect, and he is a...
David is not the only suspect.
And David is not the only suspect, but what I am told is that at least one other suspect, it's not necessarily in connection to the murder, it's in connection to dismembering the body. And I think this all has to do with a mysterious trip to Santa Barbara in the middle of the night last spring. And I got details. What do you got?
Okay, so not only that, but you know how we've almost got whiplash on this story from, I think you were the one who had said that all of your sources had dried up like very, very early on this, and you were
not anymore. Not anymore.
And the reason for that, by the way, my surmise, wild speculation, they not only got the records that support what you were saying is 100.
Yeah, I don't even know how he was able to get away with fuck with this little ass girl anyway. What the fuck? She was a runaway or something? Fucking little ass girl, man.
percent that he took a trip to Santa Barbara County, but they now also, and you may have reported this. I'm not in the weeds on the TMZ feed, but they've got his social media and have tied up social media with some of the trips, and they've got cell phone records that they have poured over, and they have triangulated this
Yeah, was a super
to the point where it's eerie. I saw this 10 years ago on another murder case that I had, but when it was in the infancy stages, they've got a chart at LAPD that you would not believe. They've got this thing down to a timeline that's almost by the minutes, triangulated to the location, if you can believe that.
Yo, they say her body was so mutilated, they can't even find the cause of death, man. Like, what the fuck? What you use that as a ritual or something? Like, man, this is weird, yo. And y'all know, for the most part, I haven't even been talking about this situation because it's just disgusting. Everything about it, it's disgusting.
Not just one source. When I say triangulated, it's media, social media, cell phone, Tesla, other, and all I'll say is other kind of GPS tracking devices, if you will. And it's really, I used to joke, or my father used to joke, LAPD is lost and presumed destroyed. They actually have elevated their game, and this is quite a feat of investigation so far.
That's fascinating. So let me tell you what we know, because it aligns with what you just said, that in the spring, David took a trip to a very remote area of Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night and spent several hours there. We have also been told, yes, there is another suspect, but the suspect is somebody they believe helped him dismember the body, because what we were told by multiple sources is they believe that more than one person dismembered the body. Now, I don't think they can conclude that just by looking at it. I mean, look, Jeffrey Dahmer dismembered a body completely, and he did it alone. So there's some reason they're saying he had help, and it's not just the way the body was cut up. So
I don't know what he did.
Here's my theory, and I've got a little bit of evidence on this too, but my theory is that they may have done this in Santa Barbara County, and the reason there may be another suspect is that, yes, there's cell phone data, but I think more important, there might be Tesla video. Remember, Tesla has cameras on the car,
and that's the thing everybody was saying. Like, Tesla got video. Like, why is it so hard to solve this situation where we know Tesla's record? That's how the boys got locked up with the Julio Fulio situation. Now, I don't know if you could turn that off or if he was aware that Tesla does record, but you would have thought that the car would have had all that shit on camera.
And the LAPD, we're told, has gained access to that data and clearly that video. What if there is video of not just David in the car, but a second person in the car? And then the question, do they have any evidence the body was possibly dismembered there? I'm going to tell you something,
sick shit, man.
And I cannot be more specific, but there was an offhanded comment made to me by somebody connected to all of this about possibly hiding the body there. I mean, just the words hiding the body. And it was posed kind of as a hypothetical, but it's somebody with some knowledge. And so what I'm thinking is that I don't think they took Celeste to Santa Barbara County and killed her, if that's indeed what happened to Celeste. Whatever happened probably happened somewhere else, maybe in LA, and that the body was taken to Santa Barbara County, and maybe the body was dismembered there. Now, what I can't answer is, how does it then end up in his trunk? And that I can't figure out, back in Los Angeles. But that Santa Barbara trip is the key to this case, Mark. I'm telling you, I've been on the phone personally on this one, and that Santa Barbara trip is the key.
Yeah, and by the way, the whiplash that I've talked about in terms of the reporting on this as well, that whiplash also had to do with, at first, they weren't even sure that it was dismembered because of the degradation. And so that
the body was frozen,
which was another reason
the
they
bones,
were being so
I guess,
kind of tight and close to the vest, so to speak. But it wasn't just, I'm told, it was not just the trip itself. It was the confirmation of the social media. And for those who think that, and I know I've heard people talk about this, and people who are frequently on social media, they think that the phone is the only thing that is tracking it. But when you post that, whether it's posting on a phone or anything else, the use of the social media platform itself is basically something that is utilized as well that can determine your location. And so if you've got that, you've got your phone, you've got a time when you post some kind of a social media story, if you will. All of these things have now been utilized, and is one of the reasons it's taken so long, because search warrants have been executed on a number of these platforms or providers, and they were waiting to get back the information. They also clearly have yet another person that is a target of this, not just David, but they've got somebody else. And I haven't heard yet whether that person is talking or cooperating. But if it's anything like the feds, the first person in is the person who's going to try to talk or
if he go federal, if he go to jail for this, they gonna tear his ass up in the joint, man. Like, for real. If yo get booked for this and end up going to any jail in the United States of America, he is gonna have a very, very, very tough time in that bitch. Very tough time. Shorty might die in that motherfucker, for real.
We need to talk about this. So my information is that the other suspect and or suspects has to do with dismembering the body. Is your information that this could actually have to do with her death?
Monday.com, the opposite of any work platform we tried in the past. We tried other work management platforms, not naming names.
Yeah, and I've got a name, but I'm not going to put it out there. I've already been told a name as well. And
a name of a suspect?
Of another person besides him. And
in connection with the death or the dismemberment?
But they're not ruling anything out. I mean, everything is on the table. They have kept this wide open because they believe, and they believed since the beginning, since the get-go, that there was more than one person involved, which, by the way, you and I have talked about this way back when, that it appeared that there had to be more people than just David who were involved.
Yeah, I forgot Shorty's Mexican too. Like, you're right, he definitely have a hard time with the blacks and the Mexicans, man. And this sounds like a federal case, to be honest.
Least or knew something that was going on. That's still a working hypothesis, and I know that they focused in at least secondarily and have not ruled anything out as to another person.
I want to press on this because what you're saying,
I think so too, y'all.
Talked about
he probably did kill himself.
We haven't talked about this at all.
I know.
Correct.
So my independent information from multiple sources is that the suspect is somebody involved in the dismemberment of the body. That's very different from involved in the homicide itself. So what you're getting is really important because I have not gotten a name. You say you actually have a name. I haven't.
I actually have a name. I mean, there's some. I'm not. If I mentioned how, or if I mentioned a couple of things, and I don't want to betray somebody who gave it to me, but I will tell you that there is somebody that they have identified. There is somebody that they have not ruled out involvement before, during, or after. You know, there's when you do a autopsy, you talk about injuries. Is it post-mortem? Is it perimortem? Is it before? They haven't ruled anything out that way. One of the reasons,
there you gotta keep your sources secret, man. Y'all know we got sources over here, man. All sources remain anonymous, man.
Reasons, in my humble opinion, that the coroner and the pathologist has not released the report yet. And, you know, there were rumblings that as we are taping this today, there were rumblings that it was going to be.
It's not going to be. We confirmed that. There was some activity on that, on her, the website, on her page, and her name has now been scrubbed. So it looks like there's a security hold on this, which is unsurprising.
Well, that isn't surprising because I think they do not want to release information that could jeopardize the investigation. And, you know, there is a symbiotic relationship between law enforcement and the coroner's office.
Guess what? I was told that there is a problem with this. And let me tell you what I know. That one of the sources I talked to this week was saying that the LAPD and the medical examiner have had a rocky relationship for the last few years, and that the medical examiner has been slow in giving them information. So the ME still 2.5 months later hasn't accelerated this to a point where the LAPD knows whether they've even been called it a homicide, what the toxicology results are. And we talked to somebody today connected to all of this, who was grousing that when there was some activity on Celeste Rivas's page on the ME's website today.
No, this the little weird kid. The little weird kid that we talking about death and all the songs. He like the equivalent of a like a Travis Scott. He weird as a motherfucker. This girl was 12 years old. She was a child. He adult. He like 18, 19. And he posed him having a sexual relationship with this girl. And she ended up dead. And they found her body in the back of a Tesla. This happened months ago. And they've been slow releasing information because the body was so mutilated that they couldn't determine the cause of death. But they're saying they got new information that ties Joe to the if not the murder, the dismemberment. Her body was dismembered.
This person groused. Well, in the Matthew Perry case, we had to find out what the cause of death was from the media because the medical examiner didn't even tell us. So there you go. There's a tense relationship between the two now.
It started a number of years ago, but by the time they get to court, they will admit generally under cross-examination that their primary source of information is the IO. And that's where they get most of their information. That shapes to some degree what they testify, even though they always claim that they're independent. I take that with a grain of salt. You are right that there is a history as of late, and more so with the LAPD than the LA County Sheriff.
Right.
And that actually started under the previous administration. The Jim McDonnell has been doing who's now the chief of LAPD, used to be the LA County Sheriff, has been doing a yeoman's job by all accounts to try to repair that relationship. But, you know, it's like turning the Titanic. It's not an easy or an overnight.
Okay, we got to zero in on what you said because I think it's so important. So you're saying that there is another suspect other than David who the LAPD has its sights set on with respect to what happened to Celeste before, during, and after her death, correct?
Correct. By the way, they have reverse engineered, as you know, they have the records. They know when that car was parked. So they had the outer limits of when they think the farthest out was when she could have been, when she could have died. They then have reverse engineered that and have concentrated on triangulating all of the other GPS, cell phone, cell tower, social media. All of that information has been layered over in order to get, when I say triangulation, it's actually, that's a simplistic way of putting it. They actually do maps, so to speak, in layers. And so they know where the information is. They use the various techniques to try to show minute by minute where somebody is. And they've actually done that and reversed it. What they did find, however, is what I'm told, they did find information that showed that somebody knew about what had happened at that in connection with the parking of the car when David was out of the jurisdiction.
Yeah, they say
this is when the body was found.
Correct.
So they say she was decapitated, man. This sounds like some ritualistic shit for real.
Do they have a name of the person who was involved with that vehicle?
Yes, they believe they know who it was. Yes, absolutely. They believe they know who it is.
Well, that would tell me that there is video from the Tesla showing who got in and out of that car when it was parked on Doheny Drive.
I did not cross the person. I can think of another investigative technique which would have done this in basically, once you know when that car was parked, once you know that car had not been turned on after X date, you can then, and if you've got a pool of other people that are, once you have the call logs on the phones, you then identify all the people who are on the call logs. You then go get their cell phone information. You take that cell phone information, you get the cell tower information.
Yeah,
you
for
then
real.
take the cell tower information
That's what it sounds like.
along with the call logs, and you can, I keep using the term, but you can pinpoint where somebody was when within a general area. And if they keep pinging in the same general area, that generally is indicative, depending on the load on the tower, as to where they are for a period of time. And that is one of the investigative techniques that they use to identify a second person.
So the second person you're talking about is the person who was in some control of that car when it was parked on the street with a body inside the trunk.
Yes, it's the person, the way I understand it is that the second person is a person who is connected to one of the last times that car was moved.
Got it. So that's not necessarily the Santa Barbara trip, because that was September.
Correct.
That was late August. Santa Barbara was spring.
Yeah, but understand, that gives them, once that car stops moving, once they have no data that suggests that car had ever been moved again, they know, okay, or at least it's a working hypothesis. We don't have to deal with after whatever date that is. We go backwards. So they started moving backwards, and they then saw all of the various trips that were taken. That is what I believe they have, your source, because I don't know who your source was, nor would I ask
sources on this.
Yeah,
I'm 100% on this.
Right, but that would, what you're saying,
jives
with what I've been told in terms of the investigative techniques, that what they did is reverse engineered it, if you will, from the last time the car was moved, what trips were taken, and they then focused on the trips that were taken. And my understanding is that there was a social media component to that, meaning there were posts that were made, and when they saw where the posts were made, they were then able to also determine where that was geographically. And that, my guess is, taking what you told me, that's how they pinned it to Santa Barbara County, although the post, if you were to look at the post, you would not be able to tell, because there were no markers, there was no sign, it wasn't at a hotel or a club that you could identify from the post.
Right.
It was because of the geographical location that was pinpointed by all of these other extra techniques that they have.
So maybe the most critical question then, the person you're saying is a suspect, aside from David, who somehow had something to do with that car when it was parked on Doheny Drive in late August. Is that the person who is somehow also connected to the Santa Barbara trip in the spring?
Could be. That I didn't drill down on, and I don't know that the person knows. But what I will tell you is the reason that I push back a little, just not because I know anything, because it was just from the premise, is that the person that is the focus, the other person, is not somebody after the car was found. That would appear, or somebody close in time. It's somebody who was geographically overlaid with his location, and they are surmising from that circumstantial evidence
that's a fake case.
The two of them had a connection to either the trip,
well, it will be a fair case if it ain't
something that potentially could have been untoward.
I'm a little confused. Is that second person somebody they believe was in Santa Barbara with David?
I believe that, yes, they think at some point on the trip.
I mean, that is the only thing that makes sense to me that would go with cutting up the body. That's the only thing.
I don't know. By the way, I still am not convinced that necessarily was the case, because I heard stuff that made no sense. I heard other kinds of speculation that didn't make sense. I'm still not convinced that there was a cutting up, but if there was,
the manner and the death, the high profileness of the suspect, it's a number of ways it can go fair. No ways it can go fair. The traveling across interstate, driving from Los Angeles to Santa Barbara, it's a few different ways.
Separate and apart, that would be post-mortem, after death.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so
maybe long after death.
Correct. And then that presents all kinds of investigative issues.
But do you understand what I'm saying? That when we were told very clearly, and again, I have this 100%, that they believe he had help in dismembering the body. This again is their theory. David has not been charged with this, but that's what they believe. And I'm thinking, well, how would they know just based on
Plus they
looking
need the
at
resources.
the body? Because
if the feds is definitely assisting. If it ain't a Fed case, there's because I'm just listening to these resources that they're using. Like, this is federal resources, man. But typically, even with murders and homicide, they got a pretty far reach when it comes down to, money that they need to close investigations. But this should sound federal.
Person can dismember a body. I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer did it alone. So if one person can do it, why are they so sure he had help? And the only conclusion I can draw is, I know they believe they have hard evidence he was in Santa Barbara in spring, and that was a critical moment. And it sounds like, from putting the pieces together, that they believe Celeste's body may have been in that car. So if that's the case,
not just Celeste's body, but a second person.
And a second person.
Yeah, probably.
And not necessarily, I don't know whether it was in the car. I don't know anything else. I know that the working hypothesis is that we got to the other person because of a device that was tracked.
Right. And I'm thinking that's a camera from the Tesla. Because
and I'm thinking the opposite. Well, I shouldn't say the opposite. I would think that the camera from the Tesla could be, but I think that the more compelling investigative tool here that they use the cell phones and the social media postings and the once you get, look, you can find out. I mean, it's frightening what you can do, and I mean, it's frightening how far the investigative techniques have come. I remember cross-examining cell phone experts 10 years ago and cell phone experts 20 years ago, and then doing it this year. what they can do now that they couldn't do 10 years ago or 20 years ago is almost out of a science fiction movie. And to the point, and all you have to do is take a look at when you do share my location or you do kinds of GPS locations and things like that, but the precision with which they can do this and the ability to determine at a certain moment where you are and what you're doing by
that's what we were just talking about.
And then
we were just talking about the Tesla camera should have everything. I think they just gained access to it. I don't know. It's investigators saying like they either is moving slow or they just being real meticulous in the way that they're going about things.
Just somebody else's. So you can say somebody was within. I mean, there is a pretty good theory that you can put two people within 6 feet of each other just by using historical data from devices. But think about that for a second. That you could say, I mean, that it's been revolutionary in criminal law in the sense that when people used to say, I remember a murder case that I had many years ago where it took me forever to get the cell phone records, and I actually was able to exonerate the young man because he was more than 13 miles away at the same time that the murder was being committed. And but back then it was very crude, I should say, and rudimentary, because you were still just dealing with this idea of pinging off towers. Now you've got kind of 3 or 4 layers of.
Hey, that makes sense. They don't want another OJ track. That definitely makes sense. And it's in LA too. Yeah, I can go with that.
Cell phone tower information. We're talking location where you can say this person was here within, give or take 3 to 6 feet. It's mind-boggling.
Okay, so
this is what I'm saying. They have crossed the path. That's why this other person is in the crosshairs.
So
no pun intended.
I get it. So here's my question that I have not been able to figure out, and I don't even have a theory on it. That if they took Celeste's body to a remote area of Santa Barbara County in the spring of this year, and if they, say, even dismembered it there, how does the body end up in the trunk of the Tesla in late August?
Well, if it stayed there.
But why? Why would it stay there?
That is inexplicable, and you'd have to get into the mind of whoever perpetuated this, which is always hard to do because you always say who is capable of doing something like that in the first place and what is their mind doing. But more importantly, at least to my trying to figure out what a working or a hypothesis here of a theory is, why would you drive all the way to Santa Barbara if this person, and I'm not accusing anybody, and I don't want to convict somebody pre-trial, whoever it might have been, and if they have some indication that she was taken out of the county. See, that's one of the problems with some of this kind of speculation is, while he could have made the trip, and while he could have posted outside of LA County, say for those who are not familiar with the geography here, you'd go through Ventura to get to Santa Barbara County.
It's about 100 miles.
Yeah, it's about 100 miles, 90 minutes away. And you could go post up there. That doesn't necessarily mean
the highway trip being federal.
Whoever is posting, whoever it might be, that necessarily alive or dead, that she is with them, unless they also are transporting some device which would indicate that, or unless there is some video that shows her there. So those are kinds of the nettlesome details they've got. They may be able to pin him outside of LA County in Santa Barbara County, but they don't necessarily know that if she, God forbid, was not alive, that she was necessarily in the car, unless they got some video being placed in the car, or unless in Santa Barbara they have video of something being taken out of the car. Those are the kinds of questions that investigators look at.
I got to tell you, I'm thinking of 3 sources now, and one person just offhandedly referenced hiding a body, but more importantly, I know that the investigators view this Santa Barbara trip as a core piece of this case. And I may be wrong, but I think their operating theory now is that the body was in that car in Santa Barbara when David took that trip. I think that's their operating theory. I'm not saying it's true or not, but I'm saying I believe that based on what I know, that's their operating theory.
If that's the
So
case,
she was killed in LA and drove to Santa Barbara?
Are you saying that necessarily she was alive or not alive on that trip?
I don't know, but based on putting pieces together, I think not alive. And I think that's why dismemberment, and again, I understand why you're skeptical of that term dismemberment, because the body was so badly decomposed, they didn't even know if it was a man or a woman. So I get it, but they clearly believe, and I know this, I know they believe that this body was dismembered, and I also know they believe that he had help doing it. That's their premise. So
I've had cases where decomposition was mistakenly thought of as dismemberment.
right, but that may be the case.
Push back.
That may be the case, but when you
So
add
she
to
died
that
in Santa
they
Barbara
believe
and
he
drove
had
to Cali?
help, there's something that they say they know about dismemberment that would lead to a second person. That's why I don't think it's eyeballing the body and saying, oh, he must have had help. I think there must be some evidence of somebody actually helping him, and that's why I keep going back to the Tesla. But I don't know. I don't know whether that video shows anything, but I know they believe that. And
well, look, there are techniques that forensically can be used for, and when I say forensically, that you get somebody to opine or give an opinion. How long has this body, I don't mean to be ghoulish, but this is the terminology how long has the decomposition been? There are ways that they can do that. I've been through this. They do in terms of, I mean, it's somewhat graphic, but there is activity. There are things that happen to the body after one day, after a week, after a month, and they can look at a body. And I've been in autopsies where somebody has presumably been dead for a long period of time, and they take samples and they opine on how long it has been, what kind of environment
You cut all her
the
limbs
body
off,
was
man.
in during that period of time post-death, and they will then try to relate back as to what happened. I mean, that is not a simple task. And by the way, I've always argued that it's to some degree more of an art than a science in terms of the kinds of leaps that you take in terms of the opining. What are the foundations for that? In this case, I think that there are a whole lot of assumptions that they have to do, or they have to build on to get to the number two person, who they clearly have a focus on, and they're running it down, and as well they should. And as to David himself, I mean, there are fundamental issues with the investigation, which is, by the way, why I think they have not arrested him, and why they have been, at least initially, so close to the vest with the information they're releasing. There's just way too many variables at this point.
So, two things. One is, I will tell you that my best source in this, I was taught
law enforcement.
I'm not going to say. I'm not even going to say. Okay. I can't even go there. But I'm 100 on this. I raised the issue of the Santa Barbara trip, and I didn't understand that the body would then end up in the Tesla. And all I was told back was, don't try and use logic to understand this, which is kind of an interesting comment in itself.
Dang.
So I want to leave you with my last and biggest question. You have a name of somebody they're looking at, and I know why you don't want to use the name, and you shouldn't use the name. But let me.
I won't do it.
No,
I'm the first guy. If I was representing,
I got it.
I'd be the first one to condemn somebody getting
I got it.
prematurely
But I can
out to dry.
I can ask a legit question. I think you can answer without compromising anything. Man or woman?
Ain't gonna answer that.
That's a compromise.
It's 50% of the population.
Yes, I understand
Mark,
that 50% of the population.
No,
Can I tell you something? Internet sleuths at this point are so good at what they do that the last thing I'd want to do is confirm one way or another. All I will tell you is that they have closed the circle on what their investigation is at this point.
So, Sean,
I give them, and you don't often hear me say this, but I give them a lot of credit.
I do too.
For the painstaking, methodical analysis that they've done in this case. It's just so counterintuitive from what I'm used to seeing that's why I think it's fascinating to you and fascinating to me. We've been doing this collectively for almost 100 years. It's really
why do you always end with that?
but it's incredible the tools that are being used in this case.
I know. Wow, this is fascinating. This was
yo, y'all familiar with this little? Let me show y'all this little weird little dude. Shorty is weird. He posted did a video. Look at this little weird little motherfucker, man. 195 million views 3 years ago. It's a fucking weirdo. Places you'll reach, you're going. Hey, it's weird too. Weird ass. Now look at this kid, y'all. Look at this fucking shit. Shit's called romantic homicide. It's like some demonic shit. Who the fuck even listens to this shit? All his songs are like this.
Probably 15 through 19. I feel that
like all your shit is like that though, y'all. He got another one of them bitch. We got blood all over him and shit. You weird ass little kid. Give an underage girl. What the fuck that shit at? Every girl in the video do look the same. Yeah, I don't know. What the fuck is this? One More Dance. Fuck is this song? Is this it right here? Look at this nigga, man. Like, what the fuck? Hey, what type of shit you on, shorty? Every video somebody dying and shit, you killing somebody. Safe watching this shit. What the fuck? Hey, yo, are we all right? Is this cool? This shit feel like, I don't know. I don't like how this feel, man. This shit like hip. This is like 3-6 Mafia back in the day or something. Fuck up with shorty, man. Shorty wild. Houston, Texas. Yeah, I don't know if we should watch this, y'all. This shit seems demonic. My head nightmares fuck around with this nigga. Let's move get the fuck with, man. I want to see what the didn't the girl mother speak out? What the fuck the parents say? Man, got to. I like I like XXX's Tashion. Like Shorty, this shit, he talk this shit demonic.
Here we start with new developments in the case of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose body was found in the front trunk of singer David's impounded Tesla in September.
David was officially identified as a suspect in the teen's death this week. And now a source that's close to the case says detectives have identified a second suspect. Lindsay Pena, live in our news center with the latest on that.
These boys gonna catch the blues. Oh my God. Yo, they gonna kill us. One of these two gonna end up killing themselves. Come time if he land on any prison yard, his ass gonna die, man. Like niggas in jail don't respect this type of shit. And it's a 12-year-old. She was 12 years. Oh my God. He don't stand a chance, man. He don't stand a chance in prison. No prison.
Lindsay?
That's they sent him to that one they sent 6ix9ine to.
This is the second major development in this case this week. Back on Tuesday, a source was able to confirm to KTLA that singer David is being named as a suspect, as you mentioned. The body of the Lake Elsinore teen was found September 8th in the front trunk of David's Tesla, impounded at a Hollywood tow yard. David was on tour at the time, but police now believe Hernandez was killed last spring. The medical examiner reported she had been dead for an extended period of time. Just yesterday, the case was updated in the medical examiner's website. The cause of death had been listed as deferred for weeks, but now there is no information listed, which means there could be a security hold on the case. Late today, TMZ reporting that Rivas's body may have been frozen, and that could make it difficult or nearly impossible to determine the cause of death.
Dang.
Our request to the medical examiner's office for more information hasn't been answered yet. Now there are reports of a second suspect being named. That information coming from attorney Mark Garagos, who is not connected to the case, but says he's talked to people close to the investigation, and they've told him this person could be involved before, during, and after her death.
I think what law enforcement is focusing on
the dude on TMZ said when he asked his source about it, he said, man, you can't apply logic to the situation. Like nothing about this case is logical. That's what he said.
Trying to determine locations, and they have reverse engineered. They obviously know when they found the car. They obviously know when they discovered the remains. They now are reverse engineering the movements of all those who were.
I want to know what her parents said. Did they ever talk to her parents? I know she was a runaway. What the fuck? Her parents ain't spoke out? No interviews? Who's this? A neighbor. So a neighbor spoke out, but ain't no parents speak out. Let me see if I can find it on my phone.
To begin with police action, a lot of it. In the story of a rising superstar named David and his dead underage girlfriend named Celeste Rivas Hernandez. We have heard it before, and we heard it again just last night, that Celeste ran away from her family again and again for a reason. Reports said that the girl's home life was troubled. Her middle school boyfriend, before she ran off with David, said that her mother treated her badly and that she often talked about running away. And now TMZ has the receipts of repeated police visits to Celeste's family home in Lake Elsinore, California, 70 miles away from the Hollywood Hills, where Celeste sought refuge in David's mansion. TMZ has learned that the Riverside County Sheriff's Department responded to calls about Celeste's family or from Celeste's family about 11 times in a little over a year. The dates are February 2024, to April 2025. And remember, the family reported Celeste missing for the last time in April of 2024. So those calls continued for a year while she was ostensibly missing.
Dang.
And until this week, we believe that April of 2024 was the last time that they'd seen each other, right? Celeste and her family. But now we know different. And I'm going to come back to that in a hot minute. All of the police visits were listed as, quote, minor crime investigation, except for one of them. And that one was described as, quote, suspicious circumstances. Again, no details available from the police, but the dates of these calls speak volumes. 3 of the calls happened on one day, March 19th, 2024, which, by the way, yeah, that's the day that Celeste ran away. She was caught on surveillance camera in a neighborhood liquor store, running down the street at 7 a.m. Black car was seen pulling out after her, but it's not clear if Celeste had gotten into it. This was just something that happened that the liquor store owner saw, but it wasn't caught on tape. 2 of the 3 visits that day were to Celeste's home. Cops came to her home 2 times.
This is crazy, man.
But the 3rd visit that police made was to that liquor store. Celeste's sister also visited that liquor store on that day and asked to review that surveillance video. One of the other police visits that TMZ documented was at 9:29 p.m. on April 5th, 2024. That time is about a half hour after the family reported her missing to the police for the very last time. So they report her missing at 9 p.m. and at 9:30 the police are at their door. Officially, Celeste was still missing when her badly decomposed remains were found here in this impound lot in the front trunk of David's Tesla. This was 23 days ago. But was Celeste really still missing without a trace at this point? The other day, TMZ acquired video of Celeste in her parents' backyard on September 8th of 2024. That's 5 months after she supposedly ran off for the last time. And it's also 1 day after her 14th birthday.
I would say one of them situations where the motherfucking family didn't sacrifice their child to the industry. Y'all know that shit be going on, man. It be going on, man. I'm telling you. As crazy as it sounds, there's people that get their kids to this industry, man, knowing how fucked up shit is. Cause this don't make sense. If they was reporting her missing all this time, but then she came back, then she disappeared again. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know. This is a little strange.
1 year to the day that her remains were discovered in David's trunk. This video was shot and released by neighbors. A different neighbor who heard the argument spoke with our Banfield producers on the ground in Lake Elsinore just today.
The first time I saw her, she was walking down the street early in the morning. It was during the colder months, I remember. It was just a 1 second. I was driving down the street and I saw her like big, beautiful curls. And I'm like, oh, that little girl's so pretty. And then I just went on my way. But that was probably like maybe 6 months before she.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like some sacrifice, some sacrificial shit.
And then I saw her. Well, I didn't see her again. I heard her again when she came in through the apartments. But yeah, I didn't know she was the missing child from next door. I have lived here since February of 2023, so almost 3 years. I've never met the family. I don't know their names. I don't know how many people live there. I just know there was a lot of cars parked out usually. At least 5 cars on the driveway.
Yo, this sounds crazy, yo.
Most of the days.
This sound wild, yo. It's like her family gave her away, man. That's just me speculating, yo. But she lived there for 3 years and never met the family. Like, how close is she? Is she a next door neighbor? And then for them not even to spoke out, that's a little wild. It's a little wild, man.
But I don't know who the family is. my backyard peers into their backyard, and I can also see their driveway, the front yard. I've never heard or seen police officers at their house. At any time, I think I would have noticed that, unless it was late at night where I was asleep, but I never noticed any police activity at Celeste's home. So the video circulating with Celeste coming into the apartments being a little upset, that video was only released to pinpoint her timeline of her missing. And that's the only reason why it was released, because on September 8th, 2024, she was technically still missing.
You bet. And again, I want to reiterate, September 8th, 2024, 1 year later, she'd be found dead in the trunk on that very day. And it's also the day after her 14th birthday that she was in that backyard. So maybe she was home celebrating her 14th birthday the day before. Our producer spent most of this day in that neighborhood where Celeste lived, but where Celeste could not wait to leave. Have a look at what they found.
Celeste was a frequent customer at this liquor store. The cashier tells us she appeared often after school with friends and alone. She also appeared one time on security camera footage after she had been reported missing. And we thought that was the last time we had seen Celeste. But just up the street is the house where she appeared later on security camera footage arguing with her neighbors. This is the property where Celeste was seen arguing on surveillance footage with her neighbors after being reported missing. But despite that argument, just next door is Celeste's memorial. It's grown in recent days. You can see the candles there and the poster board there and this new banner bearing her face. And just next door to this memorial is Celeste's home, which we now hear that police came to 11 different times for disturbances.
One of the owners of the liquor store told our producers today that they had seen police headed in the direction of Celeste's home on multiple occasions, but they couldn't confirm if the police actually stopped at Celeste's home.
Man, they sold that girl
Celeste's parents haven't been seen at that home since her body was identified, and they've spoken in public only one time. If you have followed the story online, you probably saw the speculation that Celeste's mother or her father maybe were undocumented immigrants, and maybe that's why they went underground, fearing that they would be grabbed. Who knows? But I can tell you this. We can now report exclusively that both of her parents are in the United States legally. Records acquired by private investigators.
They sold that girl to the industry, man. That's what it sounds like. I'm gonna keep it real over here. This ain't no politically correct channel. What it sounds like is they sold her to the fucking industry.
Show that both of them received social security numbers around the date 2001. Our producer spoke with another woman today who did not want to be identified on camera, but said that she's a former neighbor of the family. She said they all lived in public housing from 2019 to 2020. And she said she occasionally heard Celeste's parents arguing, and often about custody of their children, though there's no indication that they are divorced. The woman said that Celeste was a sweet little girl whose mom would keep her close at all times.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone, and
I don't know about that. This time they sold her to the industry. That's fucked up though, what happened to that little girl, man. Shit is crazy. Can't complain, man. So you got Ja Rule. Went live. Talking about the situation that happened.
YouTube chicks.
I don't know why they keep putting Max B in this. This shit ain't had nothing to do with Max B. Look, right there. Don't put this sucker shit on Max. This ain't had nothing to do with no Max B. It's like ever since Max B been home, they been putting a lot of bullshit on his name. I think this is some G-Unit shit.
Platform called Icon to address it. Not only did he address Max B not being involved, but turns out this man and his other homeboy was in a full-blown scuffle. According to Ja Rule, while he was about to go up on stage to perform, somebody sucker punched him. Him and his mans got into it. Then a minute later, security got involved and broke it up. Here's what Ja Rule said about the whole incident.
Leave Max B the fuck out of this, man. That man just came home, man. Why y'all try? I thought y'all was fans of Max B. Y'all trying to get fucked up. Every 5 minutes or Max B did this, Max B did that. You know that the people be watching these little platforms. You know they be paying attention. So stop putting that on Max B jacket.
Yeah, I don't know why they keep doing that, man.
Don't do that to Max.
They didn't put Max B name in a lot of stuff since he came home. Like they trying to send him back.
Big shout to the Wave. Second thing, Tasha K. Fire your whole fucking research team. Just get rid of it. They're terrible. They're fucking the worst research. Matter of fact, keep them bum ass. They don't get hired by no other fucking body else because they are fucking terrible. So I was bum rushing the stage. Like, what would Ja Rule be doing? Listen, what would Ja Rule be doing at a goddamn Brandy and Monica concert besides coming out to the stage to perform with one of the artists? Big shout to Brandy and the team. Called me out to the stage to do a little 1-2. Big shout to Brand. Big shout to Ryan. Actually, Ryan, I just want to say, Ryan, you know, love to you. Because, yes, there was an incident that went down. Never denied that. Did try it. But as y'all see, to no avail, the boy prettier than fucking Ali in the 70s, nigga. But Ryan was getting in the paint with niggas. I ain't gonna lie. So I'm gonna just run down what kind of happened. I came to the boys' mom's house.
We already covered that Max B shit. I just telling somebody. I just talking to Always Watching TV. I think that's what I was talking to in the comments. I mean, in my inbox. And I was telling him that the paperwork was fake. We already went through Max B paperwork, yo. The girl told on everybody, man.
Out of the motherfucker, I had the butter motherfucking Averex on, throwback joint with the pack going on the back. What he is, Caroline. Crazy. Was looking crispy. Was flies, motherfucker, iced the fuck out. So I know niggas was probably hating. I really can't call what the fuck this whole situation is about. But anyway, I'm giving y'all the rundown. So I'm in the joint for about, I don't know, about 45 minutes, an hour time, right? Artie was in there about that time, right? The whole night, chilling. If niggas had a problem with me, niggas could have fucking stepped to me. I'm there the whole night, chilling. Anyway, neither here nor there. It's me by myself. But no, let me rephrase that. I got my nigga Artie with me. My nigga AG, my Ace Boom. So now let me just let me put it all in the frame for you. I'm 49 years old. These niggas trying to get my last good fight out of me. And that's my wife and them saying, the old girls, they get the last good fight. But anyway, these niggas trying to get my last good fight out of me at 49 years old. Artie is older than me. I ain't gonna blow you up, Artie. I ain't gonna blow you up. My nigga older than me, man. And we in there scuffling with niggas, man, in our motherfucking 40s and 50s, nigga. What the fuck is y'all doing? Anyway, so I'm laughing. I got up this morning, man. I'm like, yo, niggas really tried to get at me at the Boy Is Mine concert. Now, you can't make this shit up. Anyway, so I'm walking. I get my microphone. Now, let me finish framing it for y'all. Max B and his whole crew is right there by the stage. Max B is on the stage at this time. They called me because I'm going on right after Max B. Brandy and Monica do an in and out kind of set. So Monica's still on the set at this time. Brandy's about to take the stage for her part of the set. I'm going to come out on that like that. So it was going like that. Anyway, they bring my mic to me. Artie is going to get me a bottle of water at the time, to wet my whistle before I go on stage. He's going to get the bottle. I get the mic. I start walking to the stage. Niggas sneak me. Niggas snuck a punch me from behind. 3 niggas. tried to motherfucking sneak. 3 niggas, 3 punk ass, bitch ass niggas. And I'm just saying, it happens. It can happen to anybody. You know, shit happens to players too. Them shit happens to real niggas too. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, niggas don't get no points for that. No real points for that. Niggas tried it. You know, but whatever. We here. You know, it's whatever. So anyway, at that point, we scuffling. I see Artie diving across the motherfucking shit, grabbing a nigga. He's tussling with a nigga. I'm tussling with a nigga. As I'm moving, you know, back and shit, I stumble over some shit. Back Joe is there. Rich is there. This is a melee. These niggas is grabbing me back, holding me back, and making sure, you know, shit is all right, trying to get between everybody that's going on. Security's coming. It's a melee. So anyway, shit just kind of disperses and people disperse. And we make our move or whatever. So now I'm over there beefing. I'm hot, of course, because this shit just went down. So I'm screaming and yelling, calling niggas pussy. You know how this shit go. So we eventually get to moving out of the building and get to the downstairs area, like the players area where they park and shit, and then we leave out the building. Done deal. Nothing more to say. Right? But here's the crazy shit that I want to address since I'm here on this platform. I want to address this. I want to address how hip-hop concerts and white concerts and country concerts and rock concerts and pop concerts are policed or secured. Like, if I was Bruce Springsteen at the motherfucking concert and get attacked in the back, you think the assailants could make it out of the building?
Hey, Debbie, you don't support Candace Owens? I support Candace Owens. I don't support what Candace Owens say about black people, but I support Candace Owens bucking the system. I support anybody that bucks the system.
Without getting arrested or something happening? See, this is how they do black niggas. Business as usual. Nothing happened, nothing to see here. These niggas is animals. Crazy shit. But you know, I digress. I drank my coffee to this. And yeah, niggas, there was coffee in my cup the other day, you fucking bozos. You see that? Same sip. But I just wanted to get on here, put a couple of things in clarity. I'm not gonna go on talking about this shit. It is what it is. Shit happens. We got into a little scuffle. You know, Tasha K, please do better reporting, babe.
Now, I'm not gonna clown Ja Rule. This could have happened to anybody. If you go to a spot and you see people around you, but you don't know who's friendly or who's plotting on you, it's out of your control if they decide to jump you. From what it sounds like, maybe those guys told somebody else, yo, Ja Rule is right in front of me. What you want me to do? Now, there's tons of rumors going around that this was actually done by 50 Cent's people. Again, these are just allegations. After 50 clowned him yesterday, Ja responded back this morning telling 50 Cent, yo, shut your pussy ass up. From the way Ja Rule was talking on the live stream later on, seems like Ja knows exactly the people that was involved yesterday in the scuffle. You guys get in the comments below. What do you guys make of Ja Rule finally coming clean and admitting that, yes, I was punched. Yes, I was actually in a scuffle. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys later, man.
When I saw the domain was available, I was like, I'm taking it, I'm trademarking it, I'm going with it. Hi, I'm Aaron, I'm the owner of Cuppa Pug. I wanted the word cuppa as a
so basic, man.
I thought it would be great to mix with pug.
Put the pause on Ja Rule, man. If I put the pause on him, man. I don't know why they keep trying to blame Max B. Yeah, I know. That boy's gonna have a forever beef, man. This shit is never gonna stop. It's never gonna end. Philip still talking about his mother.
Why you letting these folks pay you to talk about me? Like, and you don't need no money. I ain't even finna go there.
And see, y'all, I told y'all about this shit too, y'all. I don't even like the facts that the blogs is paying his mother to do, like, oh, these blogs are terrible, man. Like, oh, they don't have no decorum, no integrity, no morals, no nothing. Like, why are they interviewing for that 2 times mother, yo? Like, I just think that's flagrant. All right, the brother is one thing. You understand? The brother is one thing, man. But to reach out to the mother for an interview, I don't like that, y'all. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Like, you don't need no money. Like, you don't need no money.
We already know we told.
No
She the one told him to
the
tell.
point where you go talk about your son.
I did a video on it. She the one told him to tell, man. When he got booked when he was a kid. That's why she came out so strong in support of him when the shit came out.
What you doing? What you doing? How you gonna lay that type of legacy down in our family? How you gonna do that? How you gonna lay that type of legacy down in our family? This our family. Like, how you gonna put that in our, you know what I'm saying? I'm salty I'm even following you. Get your bitch ass off my shit then. Fuck you talking about you salty, you following me. You on my shit, talking about you salty. Get your dumb ass off my life, you stupid ass.
But that's 2 times emotional as shit.
I ain't so, man. Anyway, man. It's crazy. And then these folks don't offer number $500. $900, $1,000.
The paperwork said he told.
They inbox Suge. Ask Suge, hey, can we interview you? We just interviewed for this 2 times.
God damn. These guys are terrible. Like, what the fuck, yo? So they want to interview Suge too. Jesus Christ. They interviewed the brother. The sister might got an interview on the way. Interviewed the mother. Now they try to interview his girl. Like, god damn, yo. Y'all gotta stop this shit, man. These blogs is out of control, yo. I'm telling y'all, man.
Get what Suge told him. Y'all must want to talk about that. They were like, well, we just kind of want to get your side of the story. Get what Suge told him. 10,000. Fuck you talking about 10,000. Well, and I told you going or you gonna lie. You ain't gonna say nothing good. Yeah, you gonna lie. Yeah, fuck you talking about. We ain't going on there to talk about our family, man. We ain't going on there. We ain't doing it. We ain't doing it. We moving different. We ain't doing it. We ain't doing it. We ain't getting paid for no money. Me. I ain't something. We ain't getting paid no money to go do this shit. And then on top of all this, I'm just gonna go ahead and lay this shit all on the line just to be funky. I'm saying, I'm trying to understand how you got so much to say about my woman. I don't care about what you got to say about me, cause you my mama. Like, I can't, however you feel about me, it is what it is. That's how you feel about me. But what we not gonna do, you're not gonna talk about my woman. You're not gonna talk about my woman, especially when you got a funky feet ass nigga over there. Especially when you got a nigga over there feet fuck. We gonna make sure when next time you gonna sit on that couch, I'm gonna make sure you got some good explanation for this. I want to see what you got to say when they ask you these next set of questions, when they give you that $500. When I get through with this live right here. I'm trying to understand how you got so much to say about a woman, and Suge probably got, 8, 9, 10 videos on OnlyFans. And Suge averaged $10,000 to $15,000 a month. A month and a half, Suge might see 10, 15, close to a dub off OnlyFans. And your boyfriend make nothing. You got a man sitting in the house.
I ain't gonna lie, yo. At this point, man, that nigga Finesse might as well start a motherfucking reality show, man. Everybody hates Finesse, because his whole family beefing with him. Have y'all been saying what's been going on with Boston Richie mad that Pooh Shiesty dealing with his girl? Hey, listen to this nigga, man. That's why I don't fuck with Shorty. Shorty's a wild cone. Boston Richie nearly crashes out after Pooh Shiesty linked with his ex and speaks on being obsessed with his current girlfriend giving her $100K. Says his girls doesn't have to clean because he does it all.
If a bitch walk around with a McDonald's with a burger in her bag, I bought it. you talking about? Bitch, I buy everything. Lashes, I'm buying whatever Shawty want. I ain't dropping no tape. I'm done rapping. I'm just being real. Like, it's just too many I hate capping and shit. It's just too many doing too much. I ain't even a trick no more. Bitch, I'm a powerhouse. Like, I'm a real powerhouse. Like, bitch called me a powerhouse. She don't call me trick no more. She said I'm a powerhouse.
What the fuck? You think that shit sounds slick?
I ain't need no trick no more. That shit, too many be saying they tricks and they ain't even really doing shit. I'm a motherfucking powerhouse, man. Tricks for kids, man. I do over and beyond. I do over and beyond. Bitch tell me, she said I'm ready to get on my knees and be like, what for? What I need to do? I'm a powerhouse because I do all that. Clean the bitch house up. Bitch in her sleep. I come home, clean the house up, cook, all that. Real powerhouse, man. Y'all gonna be doing shit.
Hey, man. Boss Rich a hell of a guy, man. Salute to yo, man. Hey, yo, they got video footage of Diddy in jail. The motherfuckers keep snapping pics of Diddy and shit. They really got, I can't believe they really got Diddy in the feds, yo. That is crazy, man. Really got that man doing a fed bit for some bullshit. Diddy really got Diddy got locked up for being too freaky, right? I guess it's a cap on freakiness in the United States, y'all. It's a cap on it. You know, you can be freaky, but you can't take it to Diddy extent. Hell no, that's against the law with this bitch. Can't be too freaky. you get too freaky, you gonna fire your ass in the face. You heard me? Diddy's. Yo, listen to this judge. Man, there's so much I gotta show y'all. I ain't even got time. Oh. So the mother of the Chicago kids, the mother who got jumped by the Chicago kids spoke out. Yo, this rumor that Oprah gave her $1 million is false. I don't know how many people saying that shit, but Oprah ain't gave that woman a goddamn thing.
If they really move you to a new house in the neighborhood, I wish they stop lying to y'all, please. Please. Don't take everything on the internet and run with it, because it's not true, right? We got this lady a house, we got this lady a car, we obligate a lie, that's a lie. That is a lie. Nobody is wasting money for me. Nobody. Please stop believing the internet, please. I'm telling y'all gonna get the wrong answers. If they really move you to a new house in the neighborhood.
Yeah, so they lying about the things that they did for that lady. What else I wanted to show y'all? Have y'all seen Kanika Jenkins' mother? Alleges manipulation by the police and is forced to keep silent about her daughter. Yo, this is what happens when you make a settlement. When you make a settlement, when it's a wrongful death situation, and you settle, they're paying for your quietness. Maybe, I don't know if she didn't know that or not, or maybe the money ran low, but this is what happens. You know, in any case, in any litigation, once you sign, once you settle, man, what it is, once you settle, you can't come back and sue again. A lot of times they're gonna put gag orders on you. So this is what she said: "To whom it may concern, I still don't know what happened to my child's life: clothes, shoes, cell phone, hair, and the list goes on. However, I've been promised lies, as if once this case is over, I was forced to never talk about my child again." Come on, you should have read the fine print. As you can see, over the years, I wasn't near as vocal as I am today. So after this post, I might go back in court. But I will be getting sued because I was tricked by they will get what? I was tricked by they will get me answers. Give me her clothes, her cell phone, and anything that belongs to her when she died that was on her body. That was a lie. Once they finished investigation, allegedly people I trusted, they told me that somehow Kay got out the back door. I never heard. I hate use some courage. I hate when people do this shit. They told me that somehow Kay got out the back door. I never heard how, which door could get out, but they never told me how or where. Allegedly, they never told the media. That's why I know the media will lie. Allegedly, so I can invite any of you to go. I can't read this shit. This just give me a fucking headache. I have a brain aneurysm trying to read this shit. I was in pain going through my cancer battles. They forced us, had us in rooms for hours, and would not let us go until we said what they wanted us to say. They made us accept what they wanted to give us. I'm literally living without my child, and I'm rising above, staying strong, and holding on to hope, even without you. I was made to record a video hours after we were held during one of my child's birthdays. At the same time, I was sitting in a meeting about another child who wasn't living. I had nothing to give my baby that day, but I knew a surprise was waiting once we left the meeting. Before the rain came hard, I stayed quiet long enough, but at this point, I'm simply speaking the truth, respectfully, clearly, and without naming anyone. They paid for your silence, man. That's how that works. That's how that works. They paid for your silence. So it's the dude from Chicago spoke out.
So a lot of y'all ain't gonna agree with me. A lot of y'all is. I really don't care. But this is my opinion. So I'll wake up, scrolling on Facebook, and I see Kanika Jenkins' mother make a status saying, "I'm tired of being quiet. Y'all paid me to be quiet. Y'all promised me this, promised me that. Like, y'all paid me. It ain't no type of money in this world that'll make me be quiet when it comes to some foul play ass shit that had happened like that. Especially when it comes to my flesh and blood, my kids. You hear me? If the police offer me some money right now to be quiet about my mama case, fuck y'all. You hear me? Like, you had the whole world behind you. The whole world behind you.
Yes,
you could have got justice and way more money than whatever they offered you. Why try to come say something now?
I wonder what they settled for.
Why? Because the money gone? Now you want to open your mouth? This been like 5-6 years ago. I just don't agree with that. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like, ain't nobody finna pay me no type of money to be quiet when it comes to one of these motherfuckers killing my kids.
$6 million settlement in their wrongful death lawsuit. The suit, filed in 2018, claimed the hotel was negligent and the money will be distributed among family members, with Teresa Martin receiving over $3.7 million.
Oh. There you have it.
What the fuck? Y'all, what? I don't want that money. I want justice. I'm putting justice over anything. Over money. Loyalty is over everything. Oh, man. The way y'all be moving, man, that shit is weird, man. Like,
they probably gonna sue.
A lot of...
They probably, the state, they probably gonna sue her ass for speaking out. Yeah, man. They probably gonna sue her for speaking out, man. You signed that paper, you signed over, you signed the secrecy. You sold your voice. Can't talk about it no more. We paid you. We admitted that, some things may have happened, even though we ain't admit too much. We ain't gonna admit to no crimes. We admitted to negligence. We paying you for the negligence. Now, leave it alone. I don't think nobody knows what happened to her, man. To be honest. I mean, it's possible. It's possible that she wandered off into the freezer, being drunk. And, just wanted, maybe she was overheating. Yeah, but we don't fucking know. We don't know. I know that was a wild situation for real. That was a wild situation, but you can't complain. That's similar to I always talk about with Cassie and them. Like, you can't participate and then don't like the results of your participation and then scream foul play. No, you can't do that. You took the money. You took the bag. You know what I mean? Move forward. You know what I mean? Move forward. It's fucked up as it sounds, but that's the game you played. That's the game you play when you sign for them wrongful death lawsuits. You can't talk about it no more. We paid for our wrong. We fixed our wrong. Now, if you didn't get answers, then that wasn't part of the deal. Part of the deal was answers. You took the deal for payment. You can't get payment and answers. It's either one or the other. You can't get both. You understand what I'm saying? That's why the Cassie and Diddy situation was so crazy, because she took payment. You don't get payment and justice. No, hell no, that's not how that go. That ain't never went like that. Not in America. It's either one or the other. If you want justice, you ain't getting payment. If you want payment, you ain't getting justice. It ain't no, But I appreciate y'all as always, man. I appreciate everybody that tapped in. Salute to Siobhan for the $30 cash app. Make sure y'all share that live. Make sure y'all hit the like button. That Celeste situation is crazy. But David, all I can say is he's gonna have a hard time in the joint. I think he'll probably try to kill himself first, like y'all said in the comments. I think I agree with that. I don't think he's going to jail. He won't make it in jail with those claims against him. He won't make it in jail. He won't make it. No jail. Not state or federal. Somebody gonna tear his ass up. You talking about kill. He was dealing with a juvenile that was 12, 13 years old. Then she ended up dead. Head cut off. Like, very graphic. You know what I mean? Limbs, very graphic situation, yo. Left in the trunk for months. Yo, you is not going to be able to walk no penitentiary yard with those charges. It ain't happening. Unless he's going to be heavily extorted. You know what I mean? He might can pay his way, but I don't know. I don't even know if he'll be able to pay his way. Appreciate it, Caroline. I don't even know if he'll be able to pay his way. That's the first time I really ever looked into that situation for real. Like, I never really looked into that case. I just knew it was wild. And Shorty was weird as a motherfucker, but I ain't never know the details of it. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Yo, but I gotta get ready to go to bed. Gotta get these kids up in the morning. Y'all appreciate y'all as always. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share the live. It's another day keeping you news. And I'm out.